good?
Yeah, we're live.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, we got music for the stream now. But when we last left off in terms of the story, the party returned from their adventures in the ice caves of Edict, finding personal information about themselves out from the brokers as had been promised. In exchange for recording the events of their exploration, the borderline omnipotent information broking triplets gave the party the answers they sought. Officer Neon confirmed the potential corruption of the commissioner of the Peacekeepers. Lucian Alefikir discovered what had happened all those years ago in their home that had pit the twin siblings against each other. Gil sacrificing their question to get Lucian those answers. And Caro, while not receiving a question, receiving a prototype magic item taken politely from the Peacekeepers, the gloves of nano ammo. As the party leaves the brokers, all currently pursuing their own activities. Lucian, Gil, and Raccoon have organized for the party to meet the mysterious mother, head of one of the crime families of Edict. Caleb, Caro, and Officer Neon explore the city a bit while making their way to the Sweet Honey Hive to get a room for the night, with intent for the rest of the party to meet up there. And Zephyr, currently out in the boons of the city, negotiating with the leader of the Reapers, a pockmarked and heavily damaged elvish man, going by the name Naden Delos, who, on the Queen Bee's recommendation, Zephyr has sought out for some potentially useful equipment. While the Reapers may not have the same arms dealing and technology as the family does, the Reapers do have some unique wares not sold elsewhere in the city, usually personal effects and belongings that were returned to the Reapers as a form of payment for people who were desperate and penniless.
Need that fix.
Zephyr, you are left alone in Naden Delos' personal office, the attic of the barn where they brew their stock, for several minutes, giving you time to get acquainted with this ballistic-resistant parasol that was identified by its original owner as being called the Whisper. A parasol sewn of ballistic fabrics that make it bulletproof, while also having a retractable blade hidden in the tip. It's concealable, it's tough, and makes a good weapon for emergency engagements. Overall, quite a good find for the aspiring burglar. With that, as about 20 minutes, 25 pass, the door opens again, and you see Naden return, back in his hazmat suit, and kind of looking you up and down. He gives you a nod. Follow me. I'll have my boys give the Whisper a paint job, and in the meantime, you can pursue our other wares.
Guess, do I leave the Whisper here?
My boys will take it off your hands on the way to storage, and we'll return it to you before you leave our territory.
Alrighty then. Well, lead the way.
He takes you back downstairs, where you see the same three elves that had guided you to this barn. The smallest of whom approaches you kind of cautiously and holds out their hands to receive the whisper. And you can see the two larger of the brothers holding spray cans and some cans of paint.
I
Make sure you give
will.
it the design I told you.
Yeah, he's gonna hand it to you. Yes, I would hope you are, you know, rather good at your job. You know, I'd like to be inconspicuous, and a bad paint job would probably draw more attention.
Isn't that the truth? Don't worry, I gave them your color specifications and suggested a design. While stealth is useful, some degree of notoriety within your control is just as helpful. But we'll see if you like it once you receive it. For now, follow.
All right, you will proceed to follow.
The leader of the Reapers takes you through the barn to out the open doors into the wide open fields of largely dead crops, although you do, of course, see the ones closest to the barn that are still being maintained, usually by Naden himself, and you know now that these plants are the various hallucinogens and chemically altering plants that are used to create the substances the Reapers deal in. He takes you to a small shed, not too far away from the barn, still bathed in the flickering lantern light coming from it. And opening the door, which has a fairly simple bar lock on it, he gestures for you to enter first. And as he follows in behind you, leaving the door open as the two of you enter, you find yourself in a relatively humble shed. Although the walls are lined with and piles are built in the corners of just various, at least at a glance, random assortment of things. You see jewelry, you see even if the occasional prosthetic limb, satchels and bags, just various what looks to be just garbage and knickknacks. Although Naden crosses his arms and kind of leans against the door frame of the shed. It may not look like much, but believe it or not, this is some of the best we have to offer. One man's junk is another man's treasure, as they say, and whenever our customers run out of money to offer us, they usually offer us something unique, usually from the surface. We don't have the advanced technology of the mother and her family, but we do have something she doesn't, and gestures to the stock in front of you. Feel free to browse, see if anything catches your interest.
And he'll give a nod, just like, right then. I'll see what kind of wares you guys have.
He gives you a nod and just observes placidly as you rifle through the various junk and treasures. As you search, we've already discussed this off screen. Zephyr, what do you approach him with?
Alrighty then. Got a few things here. So he's gonna hold as much as he can, in the hands, but he's going to have. You told me he had this stuff, so.
Yep, anything I said he had, you can find in the shed.
Yes, which you mentioned. A few of the items that I mentioned were the bag of holding.
Mm-hmm. Decanter of endless water.
Yeah, decanter of endless water. Slippers of spider climbing. Boots of elven kind. Oh, that's another holding card. Amulet of proof against detection and location.
Alright.
And the coin of devolving.
Alright.
I think those were it. There's supposed to be 6 items in total. Or
yep.
7, actually.
Okay. Alright.
Maybe one more. I think I'm missing one. right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there should be one. Where's that last?
Bag of holding, coin of delving, goggles of object reading.
Oh, gloves of thievery. How's it?
Oh, gloves of thievery. All right.
Yeah, goggles.
Um,
He didn't have that. Yeah.
okay. All right. So you dig through the various junk, but that you now know to be well hidden treasures. Things that customers of the Reapers have parted with in exchange for bigger supplies of their of what they need and want, and return to the leader of the Reapers with a few pairs of definitely used and worn slippers, a somewhat ruddy and muddy looking bag, a set of somewhat worn and discolored leather gloves, and a seemingly simple coin. Um, and as Naden looks over all these items, he runs a bit of a tally in his head. Uh, and finally, with his eyes settling on the coin last of the lot, does one final number crunch. 2,600 for the lot. Surface currency is fine.
Ooh, a little more expensive than I was expecting.
You refuse to tell me your price range, so this is what I can do.
Well, I get it. It's just with the prices of your last time, you're expecting less, but I may still be able to do some service.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Yes. The question is, what kind of currency do you accept?
As I said, surface currency is acceptable. While I'd prefer credits, you'd be surprised what people out here in the sticks will part with for some shiny trinkets and useless lumps of metal. And worst comes to worst, I can have one of my agents in the city run the conversion for me. So, whatever you have that's valuable.
Oh, might be able to get you something. So, I guess he's gonna put everything down real quick, and he's then going to rubbish through his bag and pull out one of the diamonds. And he's going to kind of show it to him like, I believe this would probably, I mean, I don't know its exact value, granted, but I would assume it would cover what I've asked, and maybe even more, but I'm willing to part with this.
He holds out his hand. May I?
Sure.
He takes the diamond from you, and taking a moment to look it over, you get the impression someone who works with crystals as much as he does has at least a passing familiarity with jewels. And as he carefully looks over the diamond you handed him, you just handed him the one, correct?
Yeah, only one. I only pulled out one.
He kind of furrows his brow a little bit. And how much in simple currency are you carrying?
Simple currency. I prefer not to tell you, but I would say. Not sure. I'm just wondering, would me telling you jack up the price?
He kind of smirks a little bit and says, I'll tell you what, make me an insight check, Zephyr.
Alrighty then. Insight. Okay-ish. Oh, natural 20, 25.
You see, as he examines this diamond, his eyes go wide, and he flicks his eyes to the collection of things, and you can see him running the numbers in his head. And whether it's in his shock or simply like not really having an intent to swindle, he seems completely honest as he tosses the diamond back to you, and you dexterously catch it in one hand. Believe it or not, quite the opposite. That thing is worth more than all of these items put together.
Mm.
I estimate if you found a proper jeweler for that, that thing is worth 5,000 on its own.
Uh, yeah, I was planning on examining it myself, but I just
An
hadn't had
aspiring jeweler, are you?
yeah, dabbling recently dabbled in it, but
You'd be surprised how often a hobby becomes a habit around these parts.
eh, well, in my line of work, it could be beneficial. But
Indeed.
well, so are you saying I'm overpaying? So you got either I'm either going to have to find more items, or
Or I can owe you a favor.
uh, I do like the sound of that.
Favors are the prime currency of this city.
I've
Credits are
noticed.
just a flavor to it.
I've
Window
noticed.
dressing. Let me keep the jewel, and you can keep all of this. I'll let you peruse the Reaper's stock before you go, and I'll owe you one if you ever find yourself in my turf again.
Mm.
Unless you have something you'd like me to do for you here and now.
Can't say I have some. I can't say I have something I can think of. Though you did mention drugs. I've been giving it some thought while messing around with that whisper you called it, and I was curious about the possibilities of more or less like
Then come to my lab, and I'll show you what I have to offer.
yeah. I
He.
guess I will pick up all my stuff.
Yep. All right, you may add all of the items you purchased to your inventory. Um, and shutting the shed door and rebolting it, he kind of looks over the diamond fondly for a moment before not having pockets on his hazmat suit. He simply keeps it clutched in his lanky, pustuled hand and joins you in walking back to the barn. As you re-enter, you find the three elves currently hard at work, giving a thorough paint job to the Whisper that won't be easily chipped away by the damage it's likely to take in the field. But he waves his hand to keep your attention on him as he approaches a table full of various bubbling vials and tubes. As he rifles through a few drawers and takes a few items off of the shelves before one by one, presenting different things he has available to you. This here we call Bloodshot. Slows down your perception of time, making you much faster. Obit, an emotional painkiller. Star Blast, the brave man's drink. Reaper's Brew, Chaos Wine, Gladiator, and Spawn Sludge.
Mm. Interesting names, but I was wondering on more the negative side effects. I don't plan on taking any of the stuff myself. Just, you know,
Oh, you intend this to be a poison then?
in one way or another.
I see. Are you looking for something lethal? Something temporarily distracting and disabling?
Hmm. How about both?
I like you. Let's see. And he starts carefully looking over each one, kind of considering, kind of debating with himself. I imagine you'll want something that's difficult to resist. I imagine nobody would be pleased to find you slipping something foreign into their food and drink.
Yes, that would be preferred.
He kind of thinks for a moment, kind of carefully weighing his options, before he slides the container of Star Blast forward. I know you and your friends are already familiar with the substance, but this one's positive effects are negligible compared to how hard it is to avoid being debilitated by consuming it. And even if they experience the positive effects, they'll be debilitated long enough for you to more than work past it.
I've seen a little bit of its work. How much of this? How much would this cost me?
Around these parts, 5 gold per dose. I know you prefer surface currency, 2 credits and favors, so. But he tosses the diamond in his palm. You've already given me plenty, and believe me, with the money you have left over, even after your little shopping spree, he kind of looks to the items still gathered in your arms. You could afford quite a supply, if that is what you're interested in.
I don't need a whole stock, but I definitely wouldn't mind a few.
I'll tell you what. A week's worth of doses, and in exchange, he kind of debates with himself and gives a nod. I will perform a favor for you here and now, and you'll still owe me one. As long as you tell everyone where you got this stuff if they ask.
Still owe him one?
Well, so basically he's saying he'll do you something small here and now as a small favor by giving you a week's worth of Star Blast right now, and he'll still owe you a favor.
Yeah, he'll still.
afterwards.
I probably heard it wrong.
He's basically kind of cutting into the favor he owes you a little bit, like skimming a little bit off the top of it.
Does it sound like you said he would owe him?
Yeah, well, the way you made it like worded is that I owed him. I was like, wait, what? Either way,
Bear in mind, this guy is addled out of his mind. His skin's basically sloughing off.
Get that. I guess we have ourselves a deal.
Very well. And taking a moment, he gathers up several small, almost miniature flasks of Star Blast before sliding them across to you. You may add a week's worth of Star Blast doses to your inventory. And kind of cracking a smile as he leans forward and leans his elbows on the chemical table in front of him. He gives you a nod. I'm sorry I couldn't satisfy your fluctuating interests a bit more, but happy to have been of service. I'm nothing if not honest and open. And he kind of gives a bit of a shrug. Although, if I may, I know I'm hardly in the negotiating position given what you've given to me, and he, as he's saying this, slides the diamond into the safe you had heard him open from your earlier negotiation with him.
He hasn't seen a diamond that nice in his whole life.
Word on the street from one of my customers is that your friends are seeking a meeting with the mother.
Oh. I wouldn't doubt that. They like to, you know, intrude when they don't need to.
Indeed, you've gathered the attention of just about every crime family worth their salt in this city. And that includes me. You're by no means obligated, seeing as how I owe you the favor. But if I may make a small request, in exchange for giving you further access to my stores if any other items caught your interest in there. He drums his fingers once he's finished depositing the diamond on the desk. I don't know if you understand this yourself, but the Queen Bee is trying to make fools of both of us. Sending you to my territory, asking for things she knows I'm not in the business of providing, forcing me to either give business to one of my competitors and injure my pride in the process, or forcibly make do. Either way, she wins. So, I'll give you some information, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd be curious to know what business you and your friends have with her.
With the queen bee?
With the mother. Although, believe me, beyond her attempts to insult me, your business with the queen bee is not mine. I don't need to delve that deeply into your personal life.
Well, I guess, I would have to probably deny your request, more or less, because honestly, I wasn't the one really looking for this mother. One of my compatriots is more the one who are interested, and frankly, I don't know her motive.
The mother knows who all of you are, and she'll refuse to have the meeting if all of you aren't present. She's been in this city for years. I know how she operates. She's looking to complete the set, as it were. All of us in the business are something of collectors of the strange and unusual. One way or another, you're going to meet her, whether you like it or not. Whether you meet her consciously or not is your decision.
How does she know about everybody in the party? Isn't it only been Lucian that's been asking about her?
Well, I mean,
That's true, but remember the brokers.
there's the brokers, someone we all met with, could have been, part of the mother thing and been here for a little over a day now, so they could have come in contact. But, well, I guess if I am forced to meet her, I would probably prefer it to be on my terms.
Blame a man for trying. Thanks for the pretty jewel. I'll see it put to good use, and he kind of glares a bit at the three elves who seem to be just about wrapping up their paint job and looks back to you. If you find yourself in my territory again and want to call in that favor, tell them that Processor wants to meet with you.
All right. Alrighty then. I guess I'm gonna look over to my little paint job going on. Is it almost done, or what's the progress in that?
Yeah. Like I said, they're just wrapping up. As you turn, Naden snaps his fingers, and the three elves kind of jump a bit and look to him, and he does a spin with his finger to indicate for them to turn. And as they turn, you see that indeed they have given the parasol the paint job you had asked for. The Whisper is now a pitch midnight black with it doesn't stand out too much from the black, but it is visible if you're looking at it dead on. A darkly red version of a kobold skull painted where the blade exits the tip of the umbrella.
Kobold.
As I said, stealth is useful, and so is notoriety.
Yes. Well, I guess that includes our business for now.
Indeed it does. Tell the elvish girl and the little goblin that they're free to come see me if they're running out of supplies. Their addiction should be catching up with them within a few days.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun.
uh, I
Make they should make like spiked coffee, but put Star Blast in it.
super coffee.
Yeah, super coffee.
You joke. You're literally just described what Reaper's Brew is.
Surprised. But I just might do that.
Well, then I suppose I'll see you around. Thank you for your business. And he taps the metal door of the safe and stands up, and the three elves approach
I
you.
hear them talking.
And hands the handle of the whisper to you. And you may now add. I've given you its stats on D&D Beyond. You may add the whisper to your inventory.
Yeah, that's all the items have been added. Yeah.
All right.
Some attuning to do.
All right. I'll need to get back to brewing for the time being. My boys will see you escorted to the edge of our territory. Beyond that, you're the mother's problem.
I guess I should ask before I go. Anything I should be worried about of this other character?
She's a businesswoman, first and foremost. She's not seeking to hurt you. She's seeking to take advantage of you. You have something she wants, otherwise she would take no interest in you. What that is, I don't know. I would recommend keeping your friends under control around her, though. She is prone to grandiose displays of power, and if one of your friends takes that as a threat and attacks her, you're going to start a gang war, and blood will flow in the streets. Mostly yours.
Oh. If that were to happen, I'd probably, myself scarce.
You're always welcome here in the sticks, Zephyr. I think you could make quite a fine Reaper if you put your mind to it. Speaking of which, I'd be cautious with who you tell of your dealings. You and your friends have built quite the honeypot for yourself, and whenever the other families get wind of that, they won't all be as patient as I've been. Most people who come to this city pick a family they like and stick with them. You and your friends have been bouncing between different crime families like I changed socks.
I just
Wait, he changes socks?
I just like
If
to.
I change socks.
I just like to keep my options open, and it seems as though, while a little surprising, the options here have been relatively good.
You'll find the city of Edict does that to people. Plenty of options, most of them with a dark underbelly if you know where to look. Enjoy your items, and hopefully my brew serves you well whenever you find a use for it. And he nods to the vials of Starblast. If that's all, I suppose I'll see you when you come to collect on my debt.
I guess I'll be on my leave.
Boys, make sure he makes it to the edge of our territory safely. Beyond that, leave him to the mercies of the mother. The three of them give kind of shaky nods and all kind of form a semicircle behind you to start guiding you to the exit as you stow away your various new accoutrements and equipment, feeling satisfied as your deal with the Edict drug lord comes to a close.
Alright, then I guess I'll, with my little escorts, go back towards the end.
Alright. In that case, we turn our attention now back to the city of Edict itself. Lower Edict, the smoggy underbelly of this underground technopunk city, as Officer Neon, Caro, and Caleb are more or less making their way in the general direction of the Sweet Honey Hive. But Caleb, I believe you had some exploring you wanted to do.
Yeah, Caleb wants to explore the city. Should I go get my dice?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and grab them, just in case you might
Just
need
in
them.
the other room.
In the meantime, Caro and Officer Neon, do you have any particular business in the city, or are you just going to accompany Caleb until they're ready to head to the Sweet Honey Hive?
I'm gonna be just accompanying Caleb for now.
All right, Caro.
I said I would meet Lucian and Gil and Raccoon. At the at the end.
All right, so you're gonna wait at the Sweet Honey Hive for now, then?
But I also don't want to split up. Oh shit. I'll go with them for now and then come back to it later.
Yeah. All right. Noted. Real quick, while Hunter's grabbing their dice.
I already grabbed them.
Well, yeah, just as a quick check-in, Lucian and Gil, with Raccoon and Toe, what will the two of you be doing?
We're heading to the place the guy gave me with the piece of paper to find the Nez clothing.
Okay. So you guys may run into each other in the city. That's why I wanted to check. So you're going clothes shopping. Caleb, do you have anywhere particularly in mind, or are you just kind of browsing?
Caleb's just gonna kind of generally look around for a little bit.
All right. Make me a general investigation check.
What's his plus for investigation?
Awesome.
Caleb, investigation, +2.
That'll be 12.
Nice.
All right. So, you all, in your two separate groups for the time being, begin to wander Lower Edict. Caleb, forming a sort of head to the group as Officer Neon and Caro are simply accompanying you so that you don't wander off alone. You pass a variety of stores and businesses. Nothing that particularly jumps out at you, at least not in this particular district. You pass a few places selling weapons, some places selling tools and other equipment. Your attention is briefly caught by what appears to be a pet store, but it appears that most of their stock is either sold already or elsewhere, as the store appears to be closed with empty cages adorning the front. But in your wanderings, you do see Lucian and Gil on the same street as you guys are heading through a just long, neon glowing street of various businesses, including Lucian. You see the symbol you recognize.
Can I say that Caleb tries to avoid them?
I mean, that's a thing you could do. I mean,
all right. Make me a stealth check, I guess.
He gets +9 to stealth, right?
Correct.
That'll be +9. That'll be 22.
All right, noted.
Okay.
Caro and Officer Neon, what are you guys doing? You guys see Lucian and Gil down the street just browsing the stores similar to yourselves, but Caleb immediately slips into a nearby alleyway and out of sight.
I look at Caleb and just kind of like shrug my shoulders and wave to the other two. Just kind of like, hey.
Caleb does not want to talk with Lucian right now.
I wave back.
All right.
I go over to Officer Neon then, since he is waved.
Caro also waves.
Yeah.
I wave to Caro.
I carry Raccoon and follow.
Of course. All right, noted. So, the groups reconvene. Caleb skulking in the shadows as you watch the groups collide. And as you all catch up, Lucian, you do indeed see. It's hard to miss, although you can see now why they gave you a picture to go off of instead of a name. As you don't see an actual name for the building anywhere, you just see a massive neon eye surrounded by what appears to be a neon display of a waterfall. The eye occasionally blinking and like with sparkles and dazzles coming out of it. Again, no actual name for this building anywhere, but you can already from the glowing windows see rows and rows and spinning displays of very well-made and well-tailored, fanciful clothing.
I look to the others. Oh, thank goodness. I was really hoping that I would find you guys. So we have an hour to get some clothes and to get dressed because we're going to go and meet the mother. Surprise!
We're going to what?
Well, here's the thing that happened. I arranged a meeting with this mother because that's the people that was told that has all of the things, and there's like a collector, so I thought maybe she might know some things. But apparently she is very interested in meeting us, so I guess it's mutual?
I see.
Why?
Why? Immediate attitude.
Why what?
I mean, is there a reason? Do you have like a problem with it, or is there like something bad about it? I know that she's like a crime boss. I'm not stupid.
I would like you to repeat that sentence again to me, please.
I turn away from him. Where's Caleb?
He's right over there, and I point again.
No, hold up. Shouldn't he have to roll?
Perception.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'll roll.
To be fair, we
roll
didn't know if you
deception?
went deeper or whatever. You just sulked in the
I was
shadows.
acting on the assumption that since they were right next to you in your stealth, they would have seen where you went, but Lucian and Gil wouldn't have. But
I was gonna say we may not have, like, maybe we didn't notice because we were paying attention to the other two. So I'm willing to roll for it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, perception, I imagine.
Yeah, this is perception.
All right,
All
I'll do
right,
that
I'm
too.
good.
Well,
Perception.
I rolled a 23.
I got like a dirty 20.
All right.
Like 15 plus 5.
Well, I had higher than Neon did.
Yeah. Neon, you cannot find.
He was there a minute ago.
But Gil, with Raccoon on your shoulders, you kind of look around.
21.
Kind of squinting a bit through the various neon flashing lights of the city and see it's a split second, but as the waterworks display of the clothing store's lights go off, you can see for a split second Caleb illuminated in the alleyway he's skulking, crouched in.
What are you doing over there, Caleb?
I don't want to talk to Lucian. She's been yelling too much today.
I did not yell today.
You kind of did.
I know, I was fussing because of Zephyr a lot, I know. But, you know, it's only because I am so concerned about our team. That's why, Caleb.
This
I'm
is what I
sorry.
didn't want to get involved in. Another
Caleb.
argument.
What can I... I'm sorry.
Caleb comes out of the thing. What's this about meeting someone?
Yes, we are meeting with another crime family. You remember when we first came here and we talked about the mother and how she maybe might be connected to the lady because she only has a title. That's one of like 6 theories that I have going on right now. So we're having a meeting, and I thought that we all could benefit from it. Cause like Gil, don't you have some things that you might want to sell to her because she's like super into that.
Yeah, I do.
And I know that you and maybe even Zachary might be very interested in meeting with her. I know I am. And I was thinking that we all could, dress nice and,
Caleb already has fine clothes.
She doesn't know that.
The party we were already at, not.
She doesn't know what.
No,
Caleb
didn't our
wants.
clothes get taken away?
I don't think so.
No,
Our
everything
nice
but
clothes?
your clothes
Yeah,
was taken.
Our
because
nice
otherwise it'd
clothes?
be
And
Well, I for one want a new dress because that was like ball stuff. This is different. you have your ball clothes, and then you have your fancy eating clothes. They are way different things. So I understand that you want to wear the tux that you wore to the dance, but it would be inappropriate because you already wore it.
You wore it
So
once,
you
so
have to
now
wear
it is
something
dirty.
else.
Matthew,
what's up?
if I had to guess, the Tabajan nobles are probably the least concerned with these kinds of matters.
Yeah, they dress very like there is an air of presentation, but it's not. They don't have the noble customs that the other king. It's more you wear a suit because that's what you're supposed to wear, but they don't really worry. Like basically, a Tibadrian would go to the trouble of making the dinner look nice, but wouldn't go to the trouble of differentiating what's a salad fork and what's a soup spoon. You know what I mean?
Hey, it was just like, that seems excessive.
Well, it's just trust me because I have dealt with politics for like 125 years. Basically like my whole life. This is
Also,
my
these
life.
are criminals, not kings.
That does not mean that they should not be respected, because they have power.
I feel like
Here.
they're...
Power is power, and I think your brother would agree with me.
Matthew, I mean, Caleb is from a kingdom that was literally founded from thieves and criminals. I think he would probably know more about criminals and thieves than Lucian would.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah,
She's like,
you could say that to her. It's like, hey, I'm
say that.
my criminal.
Yeah.
Caleb is like, you don't know how Tabaja started, right?
I understand that they were bandits, yes. So you should understand.
I understand that I don't think they're going to give a fuck.
You might be surprised. Or maybe I might be surprised. I don't know. I was just thinking it might be nice to have nice clothing for a nice dinner that, we don't know what's going to happen here, but I just thought it would be nice to look nice. Presentation and all.
Well, I guess you can spend your gold on that.
Could you meet me at, where's my nose? The place. Hang on, I gotta get my other notebook.
Sweet Honey Hive?
No. Yes.
The place that
Meet
she's
me
meeting
at
the mother?
the lobby. Meet me in the lobby of the Honey Hive. And can you do 45 minutes and bring Zapper? Make sure he is wearing something nice and that he does not, act like a dick.
I can't promise anything.
I know. A girl can hope. But if you do not want to stay with us, I understand. I know I have been very, very fussy today.
Caleb's like, I just want to look around the city more.
You should. You should do whatever you want to do, Caleb. Just try to meet us in the lobby and within the next 45 minutes. Do you think you can do that?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, Lucian intends to head to buy some fancy clothes, and I'm presuming afterwards wait at the Honey Hive.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually my order of operations is get a dress in the shop, which I will want to know the name of that shop, and then probably go take a quick shower because I'm covered in ichor, and
Valid.
then have Raccoon do my makeup, and then meet everybody downstairs, which I can probably do within 45 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Noted. Okay. And Caleb's heading to just wander Edict and see if anything
Wander
jumps.
the city.
Who's going with who?
I'm going with Lucian.
All right. Caro, Neon.
I will go with Caleb and look after him.
Carol, can you meet us in about 45 minutes as well?
Yes.
Great. Try to look at least a little bit nice.
Okay.
You're the
Saying
best.
that-
Lucian.
Nice.
Lucian, be nice.
I was being nice.
Just
That was rude.
You just said, can you try to be nice?
Fine.
Said, can you try to look nice? How is that? I don't understand.
You're implying that they don't try to be nice normally.
Well, I mean,
Try to look nice.
I don't know what Carol's life is. I've only known Carol
I
for
don't
like
know what Carol. I don't
I've
know what
known Carol
life
for
is.
like 2-3 weeks maybe. You know, I don't know anything about Carol's. They may be a very fashionable person. I do not know. I'm just saying, please try to look nice. That's
Just
always.
cuts as Lucian say that. Just cuts to Caro like a fly lands on their eye and they don't even blink.
Oh, eats the fly.
All right. And Neon, who you going with? Clothes shopping or city browsing and then heading to the hotel?
I think it's time to get some nicer clothes. All of mine have grease stains and oil.
All right.
An acre.
Yep. All right. So you
I got the
guys,
shivers. I'm sorry.
What strong person.
you guys split directions.
Send that.
Let me see.
I meant to send that in here.
Okay. So, you guys part ways. Zephyr making your way back to the city. Caleb and Caro exploring, with the remainder heading into this untitled clothing store.
It
We'll
doesn't
start.
have a name.
That they know yet. That's why the shopkeeper handed Lucian a
picture.
drawing of what it looks like, rather than just telling them what to like a
It
name to
doesn't
look
seem
for.
like a very good branding strategy.
Oh, let's meet the people who made that brilliant decision.
I mean, it's not a very big city, so who knows, maybe.
You all, those of you going clothes shopping, make your way inside. Immediately, you're accosted with flashing lights, brilliant colors of clothes, and rather than just there being a counter, you see what looks to just simply be a massive metallic pillar, but as soon as you enter, the pillar starts to descend. Sitting behind this counter is a beautiful elvish woman with raven black hair and a set of crescent moon spectacles with the little chains from the lenses, dressed in this fabulous looking suit. It seems to just be an ordinary tuxedo, but as she moves, it has this almost like wispy, shadowy quality to it, almost like the fabric is made of darkness. And
God,
as
it's
this
so
metallic,
edgy. Does she have like fucking black hair with purple highlights?
well, black hair at least. As this pillar descends and you see this elvish woman, she gives a wide smile, and you can see her teeth are bedazzled with various jewels and gems. As
Fucking gangster dog.
she opens her arms in like a wide embracing gesture. Welcome, darlings. What can I do for you?
Matthew? Oh hell.
Lucy just kind
Talking
of
to- Oh wait, can you hear me now?
here to semi-casual. Can you hear me? Am I okay?
Yeah,
I'm
there's
here.
just some Discord technical shit.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, everyone's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Semi business casual.
Straight to the point. I like that. And what about the rest of you? What are you looking for?
Something.
I'm looking for something nice.
All right, business casual, something nice. What about you?
Something nice.
So mocking. No, I'd like something long and flowing, almost touching my feet.
That is indeed something we can do. Come, follow. I simply must see to this one personally. You've all caught my interest. A very strange bunch to be traveling together.
What is your name?
Oh, please, we don't do that sort of thing here.
Oh,
You
come
may
on, I
simply
must
call me-
know.
The seamstress.
The seamstress, okay. Yes.
After all, if names were something that mattered here in this material world, why, the name would be emblazoned on the front of the store. If we were just any other business, we would just slap up a sign and call it a day. But we are more than a store, darling. We are an idea.
That is very eccentric. Do you have a name for this beautiful shop?
No, shush. Like I said, we do not do those sorts of things here.
Oh, come on.
Just keep the idea of it in your mind, and that is more than a name.
Somebody needs to go to business school.
But if it
Yeah, she got an
did...
art degree instead.
If it did have a name, she's very insistent on it having a name.
But if it
Got
did
an
have
art
a name,
degree instead.
but if it did
sounds
have a
like she-
name with that idea, what would the idea say?
Well, what does it say to you, darling? Tell me.
The watering eye?
Then that is its name for you.
Oh.
And she gives you a kiss on the head, and
weird.
waves as she turns around, and several just lavishly dressed elves start to flock to her with various clothes and garments already in hand. And you can see several, rather than just a typical layout, you can see now why this place has so many flashing lights. The same pillar that that had gone up into the ceiling and then down for her to greet all of you, that the counter sits on, is also what the various clothing racks and shelves sit on. And as a pillar rises and then falls, you can see that they're all imbued with wildly flashing disco lights, creating this just constantly moving, colorful display. You can see all of the elves flocking to the seamstress have wildly dyed hair. None of the two of them looking alike. As immediately elves start to grab at all of you and like hold a garment in front of you, but then one will turn to the other like no, and they'll try something else and seem to find it a little
Are
bit
they all
better.
French?
So as they do this, Gil's going to look at one of the things that they hold up and say, something flashier.
Oh, flashy. That is something we can do, no? Come on, flashy. You heard the
There's
man.
something that we can do, no. Oui.
Lucian's used to being,
There goes all of our- there goes-
manhandled.
Let me
her own
do my
seamstress.
voices in peace.
There goes everybody. There goes anybody who's from France who is watching this.
Lucian just kind of like lets herself be manhandled, just kind of shakes her head at the ones that she doesn't like. A little more dressy, like I understand that I said, business casual, but like maybe like a little bit.
She's gonna be
I
there
don't know.
all day with how much she talks.
She's very picky too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I will say, the end result of whatever you guys pick will run you about 15 credits or gold pieces based on what you have on you.
I was expecting a lot more.
But we will come back to you. So while we're dealing with Caleb and the others, all those of you shopping for clothes, put some thought into what you want your final outfit to look like. Whatever you want, darlings, the seamstress can provide.
How an art.
So, away from the flashing lights of, as Lucien has dubbed it, the Watering Eye, although that is simply an idea of what its name might be.
Well, that's what her name for it.
Apparently,
Yeah.
she majored in art and minored in philosophy.
The two most useful degrees, I see. She knows what she's doing.
A woman of class.
Caleb and Caro, with your tiger in tow, continue to wander the city. Caleb, you may make me a fresh investigation check if you wish.
It's +2, right?
Yes.
Investigation.
Okay. That's going to be 15.
Okay. So, Caro, you follow after Caleb as Caleb simply wanders. Whatever catches their eye, heading to investigate it a bit further before moving on. Again, you pass a healthy variety of shops. You can see that there are actually some small clinics offering cybernetic augmentation. You see a tattoo parlor with wildly glowing and flickering inks being tattooed onto the skin of various elves. The most notable building in terms of just the structure itself that you see, Caleb, is a massive building that its shape is odd, but you kind of recognize the general air and atmosphere to it. Like, it has that universal recognizability of a church of some kind, although you aren't sure of the particular religion. And as you explore, are you looking for anything in particular?
I don't know, just anything that would seem to catch Caleb's attention. Any, like, place or anything, like, going on that might catch his attention.
All right.
Carol looks Caleb. What do you think they practice here? What religion?
Something to do with a god?
I mean, yes, but
I never really worry about things like that, so...
Well, do you
maybe
think
that's
elves
something that
worry
I'll
about
be more-
dying?
Caleb, who is 14, is he worried about dying?
No, she asked if you think elves do, yeah.
Wait, what? If elves do what?
Like, do
Worry
elves
about
worry
dying.
about dying?
Yeah, do elves have the
That
fear
seems
of
like
death?
such a far-off thing for them. I mean, I don't even worry about it, and I have a significantly shorter life than they do.
I don't know.
I will say, Caro, as you take a bit of an interest in the church and what they might be practicing there, you do see a figure that kind of catches your attention. Standing at the front of this building, you see a figure in what you would almost recognize as being akin to, like, the plate armor of, like, a knight of old, or rather, for your time, a knight of current. This, like, knightly looking plate mail with foreign sigils adorning it, who is currently handing out various pamphlets, and they appear to be like trying to strike up conversation with passersby, although most simply continue walking and kind of tunnel vision their way past them.
What about that guy? What do you think he's doing? She, like, points and gestures at the knight.
Probably trying to sell the religion to everybody.
Well, now I want to see.
Well, you can go see. I'm fine on
I
my
will go
own.
see. Don't go too far. Or at least let
Caleb
me
is
know
going
if you're
to go
gonna go
too far.
somewhere. And she toddles off towards the knight.
All right.
I'm telling you right now, Matthew, Caleb is going to wander off somewhere far.
Oh no, I figured. All right. Caro, you approach this figure in plate armor, who gives you a kind of takes a step back, almost as if a bit taken aback by someone approaching him directly. But as you don't appear to be hostile, he calms a bit and gives you a very deep bow. Hello, miss. Tell me, are you pure in the flesh?
Well, I'm poisonous. Does that make me not pure?
They no, that she is adorable. I fucking love her. The figure seems a little taken aback, but shakes their head. You misunderstand, miss. That is not the impurity we're seeking. We're seeking the impurities of metal merging with flesh.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you mean like
cyberpunk.
yeah.
you mean like the people who have the I forget the word, but I know what you're talking about. No.
Yeah.
I see. You're a bunch
Excellent,
of
miss.
little
Then it's not too late to save your soul, miss.
My
There's
soul.
always people like this in like these settings.
Is my soul in danger?
Only if you fall prey to the perversions and lures of this unholy mating of organic and mechanical.
Oh. Is that what this church is?
Yes, we're a holy bastion against this onslaught of heretics. Look at them
Wait.
now, and he like kind of grabs you by the shoulder and gestures as you look. As it's the nightlife of Edict right now, so those with augments are currently the most active walking the streets. As he gestures to a woman who appears to have a very obvious prosthetic arm. Look at them. No awareness of the sins they've committed, and it is our job as the Holy Knights to see them saved.
So,
Wow.
Be a paladin.
I would assume so.
I mean, a guy in heavy plate armor, part of a group calling themselves the Holy Knights, who proclaims to be a religious overseer. Yeah, probably a paladin, man.
Well, no, okay, think about
it's
this.
as paladin as it gets.
I'm just thinking to myself, what's the whole thing about paladins getting their power? Like, they have a patron. Who's their god? Who's giving them this power?
Do they have to have a patron, or can they just have an?
No, yeah, paladins, contrary to popular, paladins are not necessarily overtly religious.
Yeah, I think it's just like you can have an oath, and like that is what.
It's more an oath of principle, not an oath to a god. You're thinking of
warlocks are the
warlockers.
ones.
Yeah.
And Caro's like looks up to him with his hand on her shoulder, just like, so what happens to these people, to their souls?
The metal that creeps and overtakes their flesh finally overtakes their souls, and rather than join their brethren and kin in the afterlife, be it the one of the worthy or the one of the unworthy, instead their souls simply rot in their mechanical husks,
I thought you said their souls are going to
bound
sink
like
and
an
have-
anchor to the material plane.
I thought you'd say like the souls would sink like ancient Egypt. Their souls become heavier than a feather, and they will not see.
So that means the souls could be around us right now. He kind of like looks around suspiciously.
Indeed, miss, indeed.
She's so gullible.
Do you do work to try to help their souls, or is it too late?
We are doing the best we can, miss, but the sins of the heretics are all around us, and it is a mighty task for us to undertake. But the knights will see it done, and gives another bow to you.
She nods and is like, I see.
Yes.
I must make my friends aware of this problem.
Yes, go, miss! Spread the gospel! And rest assured, if you ever find yourself tempted by the sins of the metal, you may come to find me or any of my brethren here in the church, and we will see your soul saved. I promise you that, miss.
Yeah, we gotta save Lucian's soul, you know? Not Lucian, Lucifer.
Lucifer's too far gone.
He's already lost an eye!
You don't know that. You don't know that.
She nods and just, yes. And just kind of walks off in a direction, but not entirely sure because Caleb walked off.
Looks back like, oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
I must track him.
There you go.
Try to track Caleb.
I'll make a survival check.
Wait, one sec.
What are we waiting on?
Well, I think she's trying to make a survival check.
Karo's rolling to see if they can track you.
I want to play with my items.
21.
Alright. Easy enough to do, seeing as Caleb's not deliberately trying to elude you, but more just wandering off. It takes you a bit to catch up with him, but you do see manage to catch up to Caleb as they wander the streets of Edict. And Caleb, you see Caro kind of fall into a hop step alongside you.
He's also like the only human among probably 90% elves or more.
It's easily in the ballpark of Caleb stands out. Garo, you kind of fall into a hop step beside him as Garo prowls behind you.
You didn't talk to her yet.
Caleb, the knight said that the people who have the metal in their bodies, he said that their souls are in danger.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
But doesn't that worry you?
Curiosity, where's the tiger?
Just following.
Yeah, he's just following, scaring passerby.
I mentioned that Garo was I mentioned that Garo was prowling behind Caro.
Nah, he's back eating the preacher.
Garo senses when people have ill intent. He eats them immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, in my Friday game, one of the party members does have a pet that senses ill intent, but...
Is it a fairy?
No, it's a homebrew monster. Well, mythology that I homebrewed for D&D anyway. Not the point. Caleb, you mostly tune out as Caro espouses the teachings of the knightly priest.
Caro becomes religious.
Caro becomes paladin. I smite thee.
As you continue to kind of browse and peruse, by the time you get to the point where you know that if you want to make it back to the Sweet Honey Hive in time for Lucian's deadline, You don't see anything else of particular interest, although you do see, as you kind of come to the conclusion that you'll probably have to turn around if you want to make the meeting on time, what appears to be a group of teenage elves setting fire to a small storage shed, just throwing Molotovs and lighters to set the building aflame and just kind of laughing to each other.
Interesting.
Like, what would be their equivalent to in human age?
If they were humans, they look like they'd be about, like, 15, 16.
Does Caleb have time to ask them what they're doing?
Yeah, you can make conversation. You basically just can't, like, go too much further wandering into the city.
Okay.
Even then, you could
Caleb's
just bolt.
going to be like, why are y'all burning that?
One of the boys turns and kind of looks a bit incredulous as he looks to his two friends and looks back to you. You have no idea where you are, do you, kid?
No, just been wondering.
He kind of shakes his head a little bit, again, seeming a little on the incredulous side, and tosses the last Molotov in his grip into through a window of the storage building. Well, this fine fellow, and like jerks his thumb to the now like up in flames shed, decided to piss off the wrong people, so the firebugs decided to take care of it.
Firebugs.
Yeah.
Firebugs?
Yeah, you heard correctly.
I
And
assume that's
poor
some
fellow?
kind of
Poor
like
fellow?
group around here.
And just burn someone alive?
You don't hear any screams, but the building is definitely up in flames. And what'd you ask, Caleb? Sorry.
Caleb's like, so I assume you're one of the like groups of criminals around here.
Mm-hmm. Firebugs control this whole section of the city, and you just found yourself in it without even knowing it.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, just like wander
Not
into a
from
bad
around
part
here.
of the city.
Not from around these parts.
He kind of puts a hand on his hip and shakes his head, and he kind of looks you up and down, looks over Caro, and shakes his head. Get out of here.
Get out of
Okay,
here,
then.
you little rascal.
Okay.
God, get out of here.
Nice meeting you. Goodbye.
One of the teenagers, a relatively short elf who appears to have a cybernetic jaw, waves back to you. Goodbye.
We have somewhere else to be
Nice.
anyways.
It's true. It's true. Gotta meet with our friends.
Our what? Our fan?
Our
Friends.
friends.
Oh, fans. I was like, you said it weird. Was like fans? Like we have fans?
Yeah, it's Caro's accent.
Cause you gotta have friends.
Cause you gotta have friends. All right. Before we cut to the Sweet Honey Hive, where everyone will be regrouping,
What are you laughing at?
Neon sent something in chat.
Or true.
Or truth. Yeah, there's the title of the episode. Caro finds meaning in God's truth. All right. Neon, Lucian, and Gil, as the elves of the seamstress fawn over you. We'll start with Neon. What outfit are you wearing?
A long, loose, flowing dress down to my feet. Black
feetsies.
with black, or primarily black with assorted, with basically just floral-looking white designs, but then a circuitry pattern across the back.
Nice. All right. Gil, what are you wearing?
I think he sent it in chat.
All right.
Describe it.
Yeah.
It's the one slur.
I was gonna say he's
Oh yeah, I can still hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
But,
the what, Jacob?
He's wearing an emerald green velvet suit, well tux,
Hello?
with a green
Yes.
bow tie, a white shirt,
What did you say,
black
Jacob?
pants.
Hold up.
All right. Look at you, looking spiffy. And yeah, Neon, you can go ahead and say what you were saying now.
I was saying it's the one slur.
Yeah, little did you guys know that's the
Pretty
last
much.
crime boss in Edict.
The one slur?
Could you
One slur.
imagine?
Oh.
What's the one slur?
He's from the Lorax. You haven't been on Tumblr, so there's a whole thing about it.
Sweet
Anyway.
summer child.
Yeah, you poor baby. All right. And finally, Lucy, what are you wearing?
Hey, Jeremy trying to get what I found on Google. Jesus. Can you mute yourself? Because they can hear me.
Not even him.
I hear you.
No, you're not.
It's
I
just
have to
your
push the
mic.
thing. I have to push the thing.
Your mic is.
All your mic. All your mic.
Yeah, for some reason, your mic is echoing it by itself.
Hang on.
Mine are theirs. Mine are theirs.
Hers, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's catching
might be
catching
coming
both
over-
of us, man.
It might be
Okay,
coming
okay.
over roll 20.
Is that better?
Oh, give me roll 20.
Yeah, I thought it was roll 22. Is that
It is-
better?
It is roll 20.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Is that better?
Yeah, you're picking up on roll 20. Mute
Yeah, it's roll
yourself on there.
20.
Okay.
That's what's going on. I was
Do
like,
not know how to do that.
what? I don't know. I just muted you.
Yeah, I just turned out turned you down on roll 20.
All right,
I
I
so
don't know how to do that.
yeah, you're fine. We all just muted you independently. So,
I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah, don't worry about
Okay.
You just didn't know.
Lucian, what are you wearing?
So Lucian is wearing this very nice dress. It goes like about almost to her knee. It is like this it's the top of it is like a long sleeve. It's dark red. It's dark black and fades slowly into red as the skirt goes onto her bottom of the skirt until it's like red. And she is wearing like these nice black stockings and black shoes. And all she needs now is makeup. And she's got like her hair usually is in a braid, but it's up in a nice little bun.
All right. And as you all gather back at the front, the seamstress leans over the counter. Oh, you all look simply dashing. Oh, excellent work as always. Excellent. Seeming to be talking more to herself than anything before she lounges across the counter to look over the three of you. All right, that'll be 15 credits for each of you. And, of course, they're yours to keep.
I'll go
Gil
ahead
will
and pay
cover
then.
them all.
Oh, okay then.
Very well. And you transfer the credits. You may knock, that'd be 45 gold off of your inventory from your credits conversion. And with that, you all now own a set of fine clothes customized to your specifications. You may add that to your inventory. And as you all exit and start making your way back to the Sweet Honey Hive, Raccoon, kind of leaning over Gil's shoulder, looks to you, Lucian. Do you want me to do your makeup again?
Who said that?
Raccoon.
Oh.
Yes. And do you think maybe you could do like something that matches this dress, like nothing too dark, but like I want to look like, and she kind of like whispers like badass, you know?
I can do my best.
Okay.
All right.
And then could you also do my hair like you did for the ball? Not like
Of
like you
course.
did for the ball, but like could you do better?
I can
Wait.
try.
Okay.
You say better.
Lucian is such
Well, I have a
condescending
specific way that I
today.
want it when she comes down. So
All right. So one by one, you
And
all begin
Gil
to...
wants to talk to Lucian.
Oh, go for it.
So, as we're walking, Gil's thinking again. And he's going to look at Lucian and say, so I had a thought.
I'm listening.
So, after talking to the brokers and seeing what happened in your past, what if, because it didn't seem like your brother was to blame for everything like you thought.
Mm-hmm.
What if we could get him to our side?
This is a possibility because I know my brother and I are very well. We were very close, and I hope that he still feels the same as he did when all of that happened. Obviously, he does, doesn't he? Don't you think?
Well, he won't leave you alone.
Well, I mean, that's what little brothers do, right?
Yeah. Well, I know I bugged my sister quite a bit.
I could. Do you want me to send him a message? Like right now? See if maybe we can meet him somewhere?
Maybe not right now, but think on it.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think I should maybe ask him to meet us somewhere?
Talking to Raccoon?
Raccoon and Neon are the only two
yeah,
present,
Neon.
but Neon, you're free to answer. Oh, you're muted if you're talking.
Rip Neon. Dead.
Alright, we'll come back to you. But Raccoon, kind of pondering for a minute, gives a nod. He did seem like he was pretty nice to us whenever he wasn't trying to kill us. You could try.
He's very strong, so it would be useful against the rest of the Concord.
But I feel like it's going to be a very, very difficult, if not almost impossible for him to break away. Because if he does try to break away, isn't that just like more of a threat to him?
Not if he's with us.
Well, I guess either way, he would still be in deep shit, I guess.
Exactly.
So if he's going to be in deep shit, he might as well be in deep shit with us.
You get my point.
For once. It's surprising, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I need a shower.
Same.
Alright. You guys trickle your ways, bit by bit, group by group, back to the lobby of the Sweet Honey Hive. Zephyr, you arrive first, having gotten a bit of a head start on getting there.
Sure. Trying to think what I'm going to do, though.
As you're bandying, the doors open, and Caleb and Caro, you enter next. The two of you see Zephyr already in the lobby, waiting, his backpack looking a little fuller than it had been before.
A little bad.
What?
I will say the three of you see a different elf than the last time working the counter. This time a male elf with long, flowing blonde hair. Their eyes are bright blue as they nod.
Is everybody there?
No.
Not yet. You, Caro, and Zephyr are there right now, and and shortly after, the doors open one final time, and Neon, Lucian, and Gil enter, seeing that the rest of the group has already arrived ahead of you.
Wait, so who Who was here first?
Zephyr got here first, then you and Caro, and then everyone else.
Okay.
And
Caleb wants to compliment the elf's hair because that's how his hair is too.
Oh, thank you, my boy.
so I'm going to talk to the elf about getting a room.
As you start making the offer, he holds up a hand. I'm under express orders that your money's no good here. We already have rooms prepared. If you would like me to escort you there.
I don't believe
Do we have separate rooms?
For the time
I don't
being,
remember
unless you
making
would prefer a
arrangements.
different arrangement.
I would prefer a different arrangement, yes.
Very well. A room for
What
one,
did-
then.
I'm sorry. What did she say?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't hear what she said.
She's requesting a room for one, like
No, I
whereas
heard
before,
that.
because before she was with Caro, Raccoon, and herself.
She also
Okay.
said she didn't remember making arrangements and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that,
Okay,
the
that's what I didn't hear.
okay, and at that, the elf gives a bit of a shrug. Whether you made the arrangements or not, orders from on high, Queen Bee herself.
So I don't
How
get
nice.
on right.
You can get your own room if you like. She just said to make sure you all had your arrangements accounted for. I will... And he kind of starts tapping on the computer. See about moving you to a private room. Would any of you like service?
I'm good.
No.
Fantastic.
No.
I
You
had
said
something
for
else, but I
food
didn't
and
want to
drinks
speak
to
up after
rooms?
he said that.
All right.
Caleb
He
was
gives-
going to ask if he could have a room to himself, too.
Yes, of course, my boy. Let's get you two sorted. And he taps on the computer a bit before
Do
giving one.
you,
Yes,
do
miss?
you serve food? Do you serve food and drink in the room, or do I have to come downstairs?
We'll have room service taken care of if that's your wish, ma'am.
Well, I think it's time to at least get some rest.
Well, oh, you don't know. Zephyr,
No one told me.
can you be back here? Could you be back here in like 45 minutes? We're gonna go have a meeting.
Well, how long has it been
And
since
I think we
Yeah,
all
by
should be
this point, Lucian, you would
involved.
know it's about 20 minutes until the meeting.
It's like,
Okay, so 20 minutes. Yeah, okay, so like in 20 minutes, do you think you could like, take a shower like super fast and then come down here? Because we have somewhere to be, and I think that you should be involved. I cannot tell you right now who it is with, but I can tell you it's very important.
unsure about that.
And I can probably guarantee it's probably within your interests too.
Why can't you tell him who?
Because don't people like aren't they like at the front desk or something?
Basically, she doesn't want to say it out loud for other people to hear. Saying other
Yeah.
people's like
Mhm.
boss name is not.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I don't really have any other plans today.
Okay, then I guess I will see you there. And then I want to do a few things when I get up to my room when it comes back to me.
All right, yes, miss?
I was gonna have Kiro turn to Raccoon. Just, I guess it's you and me then, unless you want to be in the room with Gil.
She kind of shakes her head. Last time was fun. We can have another pillow fight.
That is true.
You can see the elf working the counter kind of visibly like, oh god, like wince a little bit. And,
The thought of having to clean that mess up.
well, yeah, because bear in mind, the last one they had was very destructive.
We'll try to be a little better this time.
Thank you, miss. All right, follow me. I'll have you all taken to your rooms, including the new ones. And one by one, you're all dropped off at your individual quarters. I believe at this point, all of you have a room to yourself, with the exception of Caro sharing with Raccoon. So we'll save
Neon
Lucian.
staying.
Neon had a room for themselves last time, and unless Neon wants to make different arrangements, Neon will just be given that room again. It seems like the Queen Bee has made arrangements that you guys basically have a long-term reservation at this place.
Good, because I don't have money. Or not credits.
So besides Lucian, who we'll save for last since they have something specific planned, does anyone have anything in particular they want to do beyond like the obvious, like showering and like getting dressed before regrouping in the lobby?
No.
Not really
Did
a lot
they-
you can do in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I can't mess with my eye, or not all my eye. But I'll put on a few of my eye.
So they didn't take our clothes, but I think I was borrowing like for the ball I was borrowing like a dress from Queen Blackthorn. Did they take that or no?
No, yeah, you guys were wearing those outfits at the time, so no,
Okay,
you're fine.
so I still have it.
Yeah.
We have our fine clothes. Which...
I mean, they've been through like a swamp, a desert, a dungeon, plains, several fights. Like
Yeah,
they've been through the ringer, but
unfortunately.
they're functional. They're still functional, just a little weathered.
Caleb will
Well, I got
try to do a little manual
New
cleaning
armor.
on his own clothes, though.
All right.
Yeah. Carol needs to be at them.
All right.
This time.
Yeah. All right. So.
Do frogs need... Would a frog person need a shower?
Yeah,
Well,
they
actually,
actually
yeah,
need to
because-
soak every day.
Yeah, it's actually a game mechanic that Carol will suffer if they do
But
not. Soak
this will not count
themselves.
towards that because it needs to be at least an hour.
Gil said he wanted to do his hair.
All right. So. Sans Lucian. I mean, I know Lucian's doing these things too, but before we focus on you, you all shower, clean yourselves off. A little on the tired side, but at least happy to be free from the ambient muck that had gathered on you from your trek through a literal dungeon. Gil, you do your hair. Caleb, you clean your clothes. And Caro, you at least attempt to get as long of a soak in as you can. And that brings us to Lucian. Lucian, you have a new room. Still a relatively fine, if humble place. You get the impression that people are not necessarily meant to stay here longer than a night, so it has amenities, but nothing incredibly fancy. That's usually reserved for the penthouse suite, which Zephyr is currently occupying. What would you like to do?
Got the fancy room again.
So that sash, the sash that I have on, I'm going to take it off. And I'm going to put it at my eye level since I know where the camera is. Do I see any flashing lights or anything? Or is
You
it
do
like
not. Yeah, this is a fiber optic lens, so it just looks like a sash to you.
Or your clothes.
Well, I saw them sew it in, so I can kind of, you know.
You can gauge roughly where it is. Yes.
So, okay. So I'm gonna take a look at it and just shake my head. I didn't forget about you guys. I've just been busy. Here's the thing. We are about to go to another person. You know who we're going to, don't you? Of course you do. But if you want information about what is going to happen between us, what she wants, and all of that, you know, maybe we can come to another arrangement. Or, you know, I could just keep wearing this for you indefinitely, and we can talk later. But for now, I'm going to take a bath, so maybe send me a message. I'm gonna fold it up and I'm gonna put it in a drawer.
Wondering how they're gonna do
I don't care.
She still has the camera from the
Yeah, I
broker.
mean, she never took it off, and they never took it off of her. So yeah,
Yeah.
She still has the camera on her clothes.
All right. Lucian.
You know what? She just took it off and put it in her drawer. So no,
Yep.
she doesn't.
All right. Removing your fiber optic sash, you bathe, clean yourself off, dress in your new fancy garments, and sit on the bed kind of contemplatively. Nothing appears to have changed. If they have a way of sending you a message, they certainly haven't taken advantage of it.
They're about the mother.
But then,
It's interesting. You know, you guys are very interesting. But I think I'm gonna open up the drawer again. Put on the sash.
Put it on anyway.
I'll be nice.
Wow.
For now.
oh dear, this could be a disaster if they check for wires.
All right.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna be doing something that if they caught me with, they probably wouldn't like.
All right.
Nothing new there.
Then I'm gonna go to Caro and Raccoon's room to get dolled up.
Raccoon does your requested makeup job, and looking over yourself in the bathroom mirror as Caro soaks, you look good. Raccoon managed to. It took a bit of doing. The makeup is a little thicker than you'd like, but with a bit of handiwork, they managed to achieve the effect you were going for.
I kind of like play with it a little bit. This is a lot darker than I'm used to.
I think you look
But
great.
you know, I think it's going to be really good tonight. I'm really, really hoping that this is not going to backfire in my face because I'm a little tired of that happening. She kind of chuckles and sits down next to her.
All right. As the 20-minute grace period Lucian had given all of you comes to an end, one by one, you all begin to funnel back into the lobby of the Sweet Honey Hive. Zephyr, Caleb, Caro with Garrow in tow, Lucian, Raccoon, and Gil, and finally Officer Neon. You're all dressed to the nines, at least as much as you're able or willing to be. Zephyr, which of your new items did you specifically put on, just for flavor?
Well, most of them, to be honest. I mean, I'm gonna have my bag of holding on me. He's not gonna. No one actually specified this was a clean dress, so he's just gonna wear his normal attire. But he will have the gloves of thievery, but they are invisible.
Okay.
That's what they have an effect.
Doesn't Caleb also have a bag of holding?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he just has his bag. He has pretty much his normal clothes. No one told him to get anything, specific. But he does have his boots of elven kind on, and wardrobe-wise, I mean, it's pretty much mostly. I mean, obviously he's got the rings of protection. Well, while he's not attuned to it, he does have the amulet on.
Okay. You all gather in your new fancy garments. Zephyr looking much as he normally does, outside of a shiny new amulet and somewhat grubby and used-looking shoes. But it's better than the more or less bare feet he was normally going in before now. And Lucian, do you take the party to Passed Over?
I take them to Passed Over. Try to be on time as possible.
Okay. While you guys are heading out, the male elf gives you all a wave. Looks like you're all heading to an event. Have fun.
And give them a little.
Lucian takes you all through Edict back to the small, out-of-the-way shop that has become a sort of point of orbit for the party. And you do not even need to enter, as you guys head down the street, you can see already the kind of groggy-looking elf who runs past over, standing outside, their fingers kind of curled and steepled nervously, and two very, like, they look like they're well taken care of, but they're kind of pale and sickly just from living underground like this. Two wargs flanking either side of him, and they kind of like growl and sniff cautiously as your party approaches. But rumbling outside of Pastover, you see a long black limousine. And the door opens to reveal a elven man with somewhat poofy, ashy blonde hair, tied back in a braid, smoking a very long and expensive cigar, dressed in a very nice-looking tuxedo, who opens the door and shaking some of the ashes of their cigar as they shut it. His eyes rake over all of you, these like beady, coal-like eyes, as his gaze settles on you, Lucian. I'm guessing you're the party we were told to meet.
Yes, that would be us.
7 of you, plus Tiger, all accounted for. He shakes the ashes of the cigar and walks to the other side of the limousine to pull it open, pulling the back door and gesturing for you all to enter.
I will
What
enter.
is this contraption?
The chauffeur,
None of your business.
the chauffeur just kind of gives a shrug and doesn't respond to you directly. As one by one, you all are filed in, and the door is shut. With the door shut, you can see now that the windows are actually tinted, and there are some neon lights lining the seats. And in the center of where you all are sitting is a small, humble little compartment that is currently housing several wine glasses and a large bottle of champagne. As the chauffeur, unseen, but you can hear it very slightly, although it appears that the walls are soundproofed, the door shutting and the whole contraption beginning to rumble as the car begins to pull away. And I will note that, Neon, you would know this, just for flavor. While cars are a technology known to the city of Edict, because of the somewhat tight quarters and limited space, they are not very popular, but again, they are a technology that exists, typically owned by the wealthy who want to show off, or those who just, for practicality reasons, have to get like across the city in very rapid time. So they're not unheard of, but a bit of an odd sight that stands out. The streets are normally patrolled by the security automatons rather than cars.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's time is valuable.
That's something that I want to talk to you guys about. This is big. Big. I mean, not that the brokers weren't big, because they were. But, like, she's like a crime boss, And,
Boss.
I don't know what to expect from her.
Are you perhaps talking about the mother? Never told me.
Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot to tell you. We're seeing the mother. You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, of course, Zephyr, you did know to expect this, as the leader of the Reapers had given you a heads up.
Yeah, I would eventually have to see them, but I just didn't know what Lucian's plans were. Well, I wasn't expecting it like this, but I was expecting to meet with her.
Yeah, she apparently is very interested in all of us.
I heard.
What else did you hear?
she's. I guess I was told to warn you guys of. She could be very, I guess, aggressive and sometimes may come across as like either threatening or, I guess, what seemed like, life death situation. But more or less, if we did get into a conflict, we would most likely be starting something like a gang war.
Well, I don't see that happening here, do you?
Depending on what happens, I can see many outcomes coming in, but personally, I would prefer.
That's not what I asked.
But all I know is that we just need to be careful around her. I mean,
When you say aggressive how?
just I guess it means just don't get on her bad side, and if she does seem like she's on her bad side, don't attack. Fight the fact.
My eyes shift over to Gil.
I'll be fine.
But
You're the one with the temper.
Yes, but I am used to dealing with political shows of power.
something like that.
And I assure you, she's probably expecting something from us. She wouldn't be summoning us with this display if she wasn't expecting us to show force as well.
Just try not to show
I don't
too much force, I guess.
too much. Yeah.
Of course. I might be stupid, but I don't have a death wish.
Are you sure about that?
There.
Electrified himself as taunted taunted and Ichor beasts. The numerous
Y'all
things.
didn't I?
What? Yeah, you did.
Kept y'all alive, didn't I?
I think you are missing the point, Gil. But that is a different conversation. I think for now we should try to make it through the night so we can get some rest because I am very tired.
It's been a long
Agreed.
day.
Neon, Caro, and Caleb, anything from the three of you?
Caleb doesn't have anything right now. He's just kind of following the group for now.
Are the guards still like escorting us?
No, you're
In the
in the
car.
back of the limousine.
Okay.
You're yeah. Other than the chauffeur sitting up front, the walls are
Wait.
soundproof, the windows are tinted. Yeah, you're just being
Can I have
driven.
Caleb do a perception around this thing to see if there's anything interesting?
Yeah. Since you're kind of searching the area, I'll call this an investigation check, so +2.
Are we in the car?
Yeah. So you're just like looking around to see what's in it. So that'd be investigation.
Area made it seem like we were outside still.
Can I talk to the chauffeur?
What am I
You
rolling?
can. Yeah, investigation, so D20 +2. And you can try, although you do know the windows are at least somewhat soundproof.
Right.
You can hear some. All right, noted. You can hear some ambient noise, but that's about it.
Where am I in relation to the window?
You guys didn't specify a seating order, so we can just say you're close to the front where the chauffeur would be if you want.
Knock on the window.
After a moment, as Caleb starts to kind of look around, as you knock on the window, the door is pulled back, and immediately you're all hit with the smell of whatever this man is smoking. As smoke kind of floods in through the open window, as he opens the window separating the driver's seats from you guys in the back. Yes.
So it's okay for me to bring Gara with me, right?
We're no stranger to exotic pets, miss. If anything, you'll stand out in the crowd for it.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to ask that.
Of course, I'm here to serve, miss. And the window is shut, giving you guys some welcome reprieve from the smoke. Caleb, looking around, you find something that Neon, you had recognized it for what it was, but hadn't really messed with it, and the rest of you just simply had no context for. You see a mini fridge. What to you seems to just be this big cube of metal, but as you kind of pull on the front cautiously, this cool air spills out onto your legs, and you find yourself looking at various champagne bottles and what appear to be, while they're put in wine glasses, you can see various shrimp and seafood kept cool in these glasses as sort of almost like edible cocktails.
Caleb was like, grabs one of them and is like, what is this? Why would you make food cold?
Well, some food is supposed to be served cold.
You don't eat fish cold.
That you can. There's other types of fish that you can eat cold as well.
Or a dish like revenge.
Which is best served cold.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
That was pretty good. Beyond the mini fridge with shrimp cocktails and various champagne bottles, Caleb, you also find some speakers behind the seats, and kind of giving a careful tap of one of the buttons, some very loud disco music immediately starts playing, and you kind of quickly hit it again to shut it off.
That probably panicked Caleb for a second.
Oh yeah, for sure. Beyond that, and
I guess you could say it was panic at the disco.
Let's save that for when you get there. Let's get to the disco before you panic. That was good.
I didn't even realize that.
I'll give you that one. That was good. All right, and beyond that, and the panel that has the glasses and bottle of wine already prepped for you guys. The only other thing you find that kind of catches your attention is with the hit of a button, you can actually deploy a little table to kind of crank into place in front of you for you to presumably keep your food and drink on while conversing with the other occupants of the limousine.
Cool.
All right. The drive doesn't take too long. And after a moment, the rumbling slows and then finally stops. And Lucy in the door next to you opens suddenly, flooding the kind of only lit by neon lights, darkness of the limousine, flooded with light from the outside of the rest of Edict as the chauffeur, still cigar in mouth, opens the door and gestures. We've arrived.
All right, I get out of the vehicle.
That was fast.
Vehicles.
Gil follows.
That's the beauty of wealthy travel, kid. You get where you want to go and you get there fast.
I kind of smirk at that.
All right. Follow me, unless you feel like paying for tickets.
I'm good. I'm gonna follow you.
Go away.
Your ears, as you depart from the limousine, the chauffeur shutting it behind him and locking it, are immediately assailed with this pounding, deafeningly loud disco music. You're outside of what appears to be a dome-shaped theater. Although, Neon, you would actually know this as a little bit of history tidbit from the Peacekeepers. This building is the Mother's sort of base of operations. It used to be a factory before the Mother bought it and turned it into a nightclub as a sort of show of power to the people of Edict, that she could do whatever she wanted with the city's resources at a whim. So what was once a factory providing vital resources, specifically heat, to the people of Edict has now been turned into a completely frivolous nightclub.
Like an extra.
Yeah. The dome-like structure was once a chemical silo that has been converted for this new purpose. And you're all immediately greeted with this like burning hot air kind of coming off from this place. And this neon sign spread in bright Vegas-esque flashing letters at the very top of the dome reads the name of this establishment, presumably. The Free Flow Lounge.
So there's like hot air coming off.
Yeah,
of it?
yeah. It's this big dome-like structure, and it's like boilingly hot. Like you're already it's like you're in a sauna.
Caleb, it's like,
Better.
why is it so hot?
I like it.
That'd be the heating grid. Plus, the mother prefers it this way, and thus that's what we all do. And you can see him kind of pull at his collar a little bit.
He doesn't like it much either.
But he does. But he does like it, not being dead at the mother's hands, so he goes with it.
More, yeah.
As you all make your way towards it, you can see this velvet carpet surrounded by crowds of people not even in the club dancing to the music that's audible even out here. You can see this lavish fountain with the display of a serpent spewing water into the air, decorating the front. Velvet ropes separating people from getting too close to the nightclub, as this big burly elf that about matches your build, Gil, with black hair and this red tuxedo, stands with his arms crossed at the only visible entryway. These lavish double doors lined with golden trim, the only entryway through the velvet ropes, as the chauffeur escorts you all towards him. And they're here to see her. Special permission. And this bouncer kind of looks over all of you and looks back to the chauffeur. Weapons. Won't be a problem. Let him through. And the chauffeur the bouncer steps aside and kind of glares a bit at all of you, but the chauffeur turns and gestures. Right this way, sirs and madams.
Alright, follow.
Go.
I follow as well.
All right. As the chauffeur opens the doors of the Free Flow Lounge, the music somehow gets even louder and the air even hotter. You can almost see a visible outlet of steam as the doors are opened, and you find yourselves like you're blinking against your wills and almost feeling a headache coming on as you see this stretch of flooring that's constant flashing colors, like this like tile floor that's constantly changing colors with each tile, none of the colors matching or consistent with each other. You can see massive ice sculptures of serpents.
How are there ice sculptures in this building?
Gotta keep it from boiling these people alive somehow. And you can see the ice sculptures are visibly struggling, but seem to be the only source of cool air in this structure.
Are they all serpents, or are they?
Yeah, all of the ice
different?
sculptures you can see appear to be serpents.
I go start licking the ice sculptures.
Gotcha.
Do you actually?
No.
Okay. And
Mother
you
probably
find
had
out
people
that
shot
we-
for less.
what, Gil?
I said only to find out that they're poisoned.
Yeah.
Oh, you want nitrogen.
Looking around, you see that at several areas, while there is like open spaces, at some areas where there are not ice sculptures, you see other platforms. But rather than having ice sculptures built on them, you see elven men and women dancing. Although you notice all of the ones on the platform appear to be cybernetically augmented in some way, very visibly and obviously. And you can see people like, while they don't have a physical currency to throw, people cheering and like whooping and hollering as these cybernetic dancers perform for them to the beat of this like pounding disco music. To your right, you see this circular bar that is serving a veritable mountain of drinks. The elvish bartender not paying too much mind to your entry as they serve their various patrons. And lining the rightmost wall from that bar, you see a buffet table, not unlike the one you had seen at the ball, lined with various foods. And Caleb, as you kind of like hop up and down to look around, you actually find your gaze drawn to the end of the buffet table where you can see what appears to be a young elvish couple spread on the table, deeply making out.
Well then.
And in the center of this nightclub dance floor, the center of the free flow lounge, surrounded by serpentine ice sculptures, buffet tables, drinks, dancing patrons and performers, and a veritable sauna of hormones, you see a pillar, not unlike the one you had seen in that clothing store. There's
didn't see it.
there is two layers to it. One in the exact center that you can see has several dining tables and chairs, although no one appears to be occupying it, although you can see a visible staircase going up to it. And at the very, very top, the pillar almost kind of built directly into it is what appears to be what Neon, you would recognize this had once been a security tower, seemingly converted to be a simple residence, presumably for the mother herself. With a you cannot see a visible ladder going down from it to the dining area, which seems to be the only point of access, so you can't imagine how she gets in and out of places. As the chauffeur kind of gives you all a minute to take all this in, feel free to partake in the club's festivities after the meeting.
Of course.
Not true.
Of course,
It would be
Gil
rude
would.
otherwise. Thank you.
Well, we will see.
All right, come on. And he kind of escorts all of you. You kind of have to, like, even with him guiding you, you kind of have to, like, fight and brute force your way through this crowd of people. The dance floor is packed. Even though there's an obvious pathway to the pillar that should allow you clean entry, the dancers are so numerous and, like, seemingly addled out of their minds that they aren't paying it any mind and just dancing wherever there is solid ground that's not taking their feet out from under them. Lucian, you kind of have to pull several elvish women away from Gil as they like fawn and lounge over him. And as you do this, you can smell alcohol and drugs. Just these people are painted with the stuff practically.
Caleb is gonna be like,
Oh, look, you're
Seems
going
like
to be
this-
very popular here, Gil.
it seems like the patrons.
I see that.
Seems like the patrons here are probably the people who keep those guys on the outside of the city running.
That'd be the Reapers. Yeah, we get quite a bit of business. Don't tell anyone. But he's still talking very loudly. He doesn't seem to actually care. But most of the food and drink we're serving here is has some surprises hidden within.
All right.
Some surprises that keep them coming
to
back
know.
for more.
Indeed. Although that's not the only reason we do it. It's the same reason we allowed you guys to keep your weapons. Notice how they're fawning over your boy there? And you guys see another elvish woman start to approach Gil, practically panting. It's the weapons and armor. Our club goers like a sense of danger, and people with weapons, drugged food, and roofied drink gives them just what they're craving.
Well then,
Gil's gonna like it here.
Lucy
We
just
had a-
shakes his head.
We had a bit of a selfish motivation for bringing you here, admittedly. You're free advertising.
All right.
Fair enough.
But with some effort, you all manage to fight your way to the bottom of the stairway, and thankfully, the stairway itself is actually completely clear, almost unnaturally so. As you all start to climb the circular staircase up to the dining area. As you step up through, giving you an elevated view of the goings-on of the free flow lounge. The flashing light's a little less like mind-boggling and blinding with you having a bit of an elevated view, and not like right up next to them. He shows you all to a table, and again, looking around, nobody up here, completely closed off. Not even guards.
Just
just
hear all the noise downstairs.
No, yeah, you're still like out in the open. You're just above all of it, quite literally. So, it's still loud as hell, but you're not like being actively accosted. And as
Caleb looks to Lucian like, and you're worried about fancy clothes.
True.
as you are all seated, the chauffeur gives a bow. I'll let the mother know you're here, and then I'll take my leave of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
He gives a bow, and he does not approach the pillar that the house is built on. You guys having a bit of a clearer view of it now. Again, no visible way down, but you do see a trap door that appears to open above, close by where you're sitting, as the house is basically built like almost a gazebo above this dining area. And you can see visible windows, but they appear to be tinted from one side. And he does not approach. He simply gives a whistle, and with that, tosses his cigar into a nearby trash can and starts to break off, almost hurriedly, kind of like almost jog stepping as he starts making his way down the stairs, leaving all of you alone in the dining area for now, all gathered around a very long table. And looking around, there appears to already be food served. Various foods. You recognize a lot of it being akin to surface dweller cuisine, although some of it is clearly imitation. Caleb and Zephyr, near where you're sitting, you actually recognize the style of pork being served as being very similar to what your father and brother used to prepare for you back home. Lucian, you recognize.
Caleb inspect it to make sure it's not like laced with anything.
Make a investigation check. I'll give you advantage because you know that they're like putting, like, you know what you're looking for, basically.
I'm just not gonna. That person's
I get
not
plus
gonna eat
2
it.
to advantage, right? Wait,
Investigation.
I get plus 2 to investigation, right?
Yeah, and then and you roll twice and take the higher result.
14.
All right. Looking it over, you can definitely tell the meat is somewhat stale, but other than that, it does not appear to be drugged up. It appears to be safe to consume.
Does the rest of the food seem fine?
As far as you can tell. And Lucian, looking around, you can actually see a style of salad served mostly in wicket. Gil, you can recognize Geogran military rations. Just this smorgasbord of dishes from all over the continent.
Caleb's gonna like take a small little bite of the food.
Caleb, no, don't eat yet.
Why not?
She hasn't arrived. It's rude.
Caleb is gonna take a small bite.
Caleb.
I don't care about you.
Caleb, you do not begin to hallucinate, as far as you can tell.
How does it taste?
It's a bit on the stale side, a little tough, but edible. You prefer your brother's cooking, though. And looking around, you guys all start to notice the foods served at your seat match your homeland delicacies. Like, it doesn't appear to be coincidental spreading. It's just like whatever you guys are most acquainted with is the food served at your seat.
Mm-hmm.
So someone did her research.
And after a few minutes of you guys anxiously waiting, and Caleb's starting to carefully dig into the food.
Well, I didn't say he just started digging in. I said he just took a little bite.
No, yeah. So I said because you were doing a bite before, and then Lucian scolded you, and then you bit again. So just very carefully.
I thought
eating.
Lucian stopped, interrupted him from taking the bite.
Well, regardless, you're eating just slowly and carefully. Finally, the trapdoor under the house opens, and you see a figure begin to descend. You almost think for a second that she might be being carried by something, but now you're starting to put it together as you see more of her. She is half serpentine, a lamia or naga, based on what your terminology you're all familiar with.
Slither down the pillar.
Indeed, and as she does this, you can see the serpentine half of her body, which is this blotchy, lemony yellow, what would be a lemon blast pattern snake in real life. This a slightly spotted yellow and brighter yellow. Her snake parts seem to stretch on almost indefinitely as she starts to slither directly down. Now it makes sense why she did not need a ladder, as her serpentine body continues to coil behind her, descending from her residence. And as you think the snake part is finally about to end after a lot of it has exited, it gives way to cybernetic attachments, a now mechanical addition, this extension to the serpentine tail that doubles the length before finally ending in a wicked-looking, almost scorpion-like stinger. And as she emerges from the twisted pile of coils, you get a good look at her human half. You see before you the mother. Neon, you've only seen her before in wanted posters and peacekeeper photographs. Seeing her in person is wildly different. You see before you, as I said, a beautiful woman. You notice immediately her eyes appear to be different colors, one purple and one a grayish color. And contrasting her primarily yellow serpentine body, you see that she's adorned in a wide variety of colors. This wide, almost silken-looking Elizabethan collar propped up behind her head, that is this magenta color, whereas the white frill that you would normally expect to be at the base of such an adornment is painted black. Her top appears to be lace and stocking, although wearing a coattail suit jacket to cover it, all of that matching the black of her neck collar. Her hair is braided back into almost like a flower shape, looking like flower petals framing her head. And that hair appears to be visibly graying, but not having completely lost its color yet. And after a moment, she begins to slither, not towards the head of the table, but around it, kind of surveying all of you individually as her tongue flicks in and out of her mouth. Her serpentine body, as she slithers, follows behind her and almost begins to surround the entire table as she makes 2 rounds to ensure that the table is completely surrounded by her coils before finally taking a seat at the head of the table. Caleb, you can almost hear the air whistling past the bladed metal of the stinger that hovers delicately and lightly next to your head. And Gil, you can hear the straining muscles of her organic coils behind your chair as her fingers steeple at the head of the table, and she gives a wide and seemingly very polite and genuine smile. I'm so happy all of you could make it.
Well, the pleasure is ours.
You're staying quite well today.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you. Well,
You are much more beautiful than they said.
Oh, you flatter me, dear. You flatter me. So, let's not focus on me. What brings all of you to my city?
Well, an accident, really. We didn't mean to find it, but here we are.
We saw a puzzle, we solved it, and next thing we know, we're in the city.
Oh, this must all be very strange and foreign for all of you then.
Not really,
A bit.
but
Very, yes.
I like it though.
It does grow on you with time, doesn't it?
not much different. Most places.
A good way to look at it. Well, I hate to skip the pleasantries, but I, of course, know who all of you are, and you all know of me. And Caleb, you can hear the stinger of her tail start to retract away from you. And Lucian, you feel a very delicate, almost ghostly, tickling scratch against the back of your neck as the stinger, you can all see, has now hovered behind Lucian. Tell me, I hear you've been seeking me out, miss. What brings you to my club today?
Clearly, she's not
Well,
a lady.
you do, of course. I heard so much about you and so little time that I just had to meet you.
I've been told I make quite the impression. And you can feel the hood of your cloak kind of getting pulled on very lightly by the stinger.
I try to make it look like it doesn't really bother me.
Tell me, is there something in particular you're wanting? I know you didn't just come here for the pleasure of my company, much as I might like to believe that.
Well, I mean, there is the pleasure of your company, but I do believe my friends have something that you may be interested in.
I hope they're
Yes.
all much more honest than you. And you can feel the stinger tickle again against your neck as it starts to curl around your throat.
I don't know what you mean.
She flashes you a seemingly genuine smile, though you can see a dangerous glint in her heterochromatic eyes as she turns to Gil and Caro on the other side of the table.
So I found a few things after we killed an Ichor beast, and thought you might be interested in possibly purchasing or trading.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. Business, business. It's what makes
You
the
like to
world
get-
go round.
I guess you like to get straight to the point, looking at her tail.
Well,
Ah, the boy's funny. Yes, and you are correct. Well, the pleasantries make me feel very nice. The money and power makes me feel nicer.
Well, you have plenty of that.
But one is always wanting, aren't they? I don't like to settle. So,
Yes.
what do
very
you have to
true.
offer me, boy?
Gil will set the arm and leg on the table.
Arm
Proste-
and leg.
prosthetic limbs sold to the biggest dealer of them in the city. An interesting approach. And the stinger retracts from your throat, Lucian, to drag the Ichor Beast Scarecrow's skeleton across the table towards her as she carefully inspects the arm and the leg. And what would you be wanting in return for returning my possessions to me?
Well, it depends on what you have. Of course, I'm looking for upgrades of some kind.
Indeed, Mr. Gill, you
But
have quite
nothing
the
too
interest in
obvious.
firearms, something that your dear old father never let you have the exposure to them you wanted, yes?
Yeah. I'm looking for something because I saw it up above where he had an eye, but I'm looking for something not quite quite like that, but similar.
What you're asking.
Lucian looks like she just ate something sour.
Prosthetic eye is indeed something I could negotiate, but you're going to have to pay quite a lot more than this. And I hope you understand that while I am a very powerful woman, one thing I cannot lay claim to is being a miracle worker. It's going to take you at least a month to recover from the surgeries required. You understand this, yes?
I do now.
We do not have that kind of time.
I suppose we
So,
can't all do our research
not
before
have
coming to a business negotiation, can we?
Yeah, research was never my specialty.
That is a
Indeed.
pain.
We never asked.
Since I don't have that sort of time, would you be interested in maybe purchase?
Go on.
Because I can't use these, but I can always use money.
And what exactly is stopping me from simply taking what I want from you and kicking you out the door?
Bad for business.
Good boy.
Otherwise,
good boy.
nobody would bring anything to you.
You can feel the metallic stinger tap lightly against your head, and almost like a hollow imitation of a head pat, as the stinger rakes very gently across your scalp. What about you, officer? Are you perfectly comfortable dealing with one of the most noted crime bosses in the city?
Do you want the truth, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear?
I'll know either way, but I want to hear it from your lips.
Honestly, no.
And yet, here you are.
And yet, here I am.
That's a good trait to have, pragmatism. After all, here I am, owner of a prestigious nightclub and half the city while I'm at it. And here you are, humble, freshly promoted officer, just out of the academy in a city that was never yours, trying to enforce an order that will not be.
That's right. I'll keep trying, though.
I cannot fault you for that. After all, if I gave up at every obstacle, I wouldn't be sitting here. Our positions may very well have been reversed. But I am not here to divinate alternate timelines. Gil, you're going to have to offer me more than prosthetics that I can mass produce at a snap of the fingers if you expect to get anything out of me. I sell only the finest that can be found in this city. So either pay me with something valuable, or perhaps we can negotiate in the alternative currency of the city.
Could I, like...
A favor.
Yeah, favors.
A favor. And Neon?
Is Zephyr nearby? He hasn't, like, walked off or anything?
No, yeah, everyone's at the table.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. I want to, like, elbow Zephyr's, be like, what did we find?
Fine.
Nice and shiny. Yes.
You start with the 10. You have one as well.
Yeah, Caro just kind of happily pipes up as you two are conspiratoring.
Oh, the diamond! Just over all the music.
The music just stops. Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah,
Record scratch.
But
Roll new characters.
does Carol say this out loud when I'm here?
Oh no, I was more like.
No, yeah, I just like to flavor these things since like some of the characters don't talk a lot. I like to flavor out of character dialogue as being in character, just so they can.
So basically, if he's flavoring your out of character dialogue, he's telling you don't talk enough in character.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, Carol just kind of like has been looking at her mechanical half and asks her, just, well, What do you want us to refer to you by? Just mother?
A fair question, miss. Mother is my formal title, yes, although we're all friends in business at this table, so you can simply call me Mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
like-
Mom, I met a knight, and he said
Oh
that.
no.
Oh no.
Yeah, because Caleb, you vaguely recall Caro's rhetoric that they were spouting earlier.
I met the knight.
Caleb's just like
Neon
wait,
doesn't know anything
wait.
about this, Carol. Didn't tell Neon about this.
Although Neon, you
Done.
would immediately when you hear a
Yes.
knight, you immediately like perk up because you know the crime families of this city.
Caleb is just like, I don't
So,
know, Carol.
I met a knight, and he said that people's
I wanna
souls were
tackle
put into
Caro.
were put into danger by your
I tackle Caro. What do I roll?
Well, roll to grapple, but roll with disadvantage.
Shit. Of course, it's disadvantage.
You'll see why.
Yeah.
Is the
Yes.
snake gonna stop him?
Saying
Oh God.
react to his
This isn't gonna go well. I got a 7.
Okay.
I
a 12
imagine he
and then
just
a
jumps,
7.
tries to jump out of his chair, but just falls on his face.
As Caro's talking, Caleb, you're immediately like, wait, but Neon, reacting even quicker, starts to lunge across the, or actually, yeah, you would just be lunging like next to you since you're sitting on the opposite side. You start to lunge to tackle Caro, but in this lightning flash blur of movement, you feel something tight and constricting tighten around your body as the metallic half of the snake body starts lifting you into the air. And Mother, with her hands splayed on the table with a wide smile, let her speak.
Oh no.
He
Please
said
continue.
that the Carol can't remember the name of the stuff, but the metal is poison to the soul. What do you think of this?
An interesting question. I suppose the only fair response, my dear, is if what's going to happen to me when I die is that the metal in my tail binds me to this earth, then I suppose that's better than the alternative that I'd be visiting.
Carol just what?
Neon lets out just the biggest. Like deflates.
And
Lucy just kind of like looks at Neon like, what is going on?
Neon thing grappled.
Neon, you're very delicately deposited back into your chair as your breath suddenly floods back into your lungs as she drops you unceremoniously back into your chair, and you can feel the stinger gently raking through your across your scalp as it retracts to continue circling the table.
Does a fox have a scalp?
All things have scalps as long as they have heads.
Well, most creatures, anyways.
Yeah.
Ocean creatures tend to not, but
Yeah.
They will when I'm done with them.
But yes.
Said God when the first fish walked on the
I mean, like, cause like a scalp for like a human is like where the hair grows, but on like a fox person, it'd be hair grows all over.
I mean, just
them.
top of the head, basically.
yeah.
But your concern is appreciated, darling.
Yes.
I guess I will whisper back at Neon, more or less confused as what's going on. But well, I don't know what you were what happened there. But as far as our findings, I don't see how that would help us here. What are we gaining in reduction of sound?
Yeah, because at this point, she's probably not going to buy this stuff. So Gil's just going to put it back in his bag.
No, she dragged it across the table towards her.
Oh yeah, it's hers.
It's
now.
hers now. You're not having it.
I mean, not mine.
Oh,
Who
Yeah,
dragged
it's
what
mine.
now?
The-
It was never yours. Don't aw.
I mean, he killed the creature who was using
she
it.
dragged the prosthetic.
Yeah, the
from her?
Ickerby skeleton, and it's like currently sitting in front of her on the table. She kind of offhandedly examines the prosthetic limbs that has still remained as they were.
Now, here's the question that I have for you, Mum.
Yes, dear.
You mentioned favors. What do you need? I mean, as children, as your friends and your children, we should be concerned of what you need, do we not?
Children is the more proper term, yes. We are at the business table. We are not friends.
I understand.
You see, my friends
So,
are the
as your
people who
child,
prove themselves useful to me, and they get to live in penthouses and mansions. Business partners sit across my table and give me something I want.
what do you want?
I was told you're all very good negotiators, and I'm happy to see I wasn't disappointed. I do have a favor I'd like to request. Should you be willing to grant it, I would be more than happy to let you have a look around at what I have to offer. And believe me, my list is near bottomless. And if you change your mind and even would desire something a bit more invasive, I can assure you that your hospital stay will be quiet, protected, and luxurious, as long as you're willing to wait. I cannot speed up the natural body's recovery, but I can ensure that nothing happens to you on my watch. Nothing gets past me in this city without me knowing about it.
As great as an offer that is, Mom, I think maybe the first option is probably best. What are you thinking?
Very well. Not too long before your arrival, although rest assured, I'm not blaming you for it, one of my shipments outside of the city went missing. And not like the usual missing that was happening on the surface. I mean, actually gone. And I would like all of you to head outside of the city and figure out where my precious, precious belongings and money is going without me knowing about it.
Oh yes, we heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
What
Do you
was
have
the
any
issue? I'm sorry.
ideas?
And she was saying that one of her shipments, like down here, went missing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she wants you guys to look into it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
And Lucian, what'd you say again?
Do you have any ideas to where it may be going, or any inklings maybe?
I knew where it was originally supposed to go, so it's quite possible that my customers turned on me, in which case I would be more than happy to give all of you is, what do they call it, a license to kill?
Well,
Interesting.
I'm good at that.
Rest assured, though, this offer is in our beneficial interest, because not only will I be more than happy to offer you as much equipment and armaments as I can reasonably part with to see that you accomplish this. She pauses and gives a wide, fanged smile. Where it was going may be of interest to you. If they had arrived at their intended destination, those shipments would have found themselves at the Ergos Republic.
Interesting.
If I recall, they are a person of interest to all of you. Part of this Scar Concord business the surface dwellers are all worked up about.
What do you know about them?
I said, I know everything that happens in my city.
I thought that was the broker's job.
And you can feel the stinger go up against the side of your head, kind of like almost tickling against your ear and like tousling your hair. No. The brokers know what I allow them to know.
Ooh.
But they were kind enough to give me everything I wanted to know on all of you before today's meeting, so I suppose I cannot fault them too much, even if their heads are bordering on hot air balloons at this point. But
Yes, they do have a temper
I suppose they're not the only
and
ones.
pride.
Oh, it seems there's a lot of that going around these days.
So here's my question, Mom.
Speaking of, yes?
So you want us to go to Ergos and try to find your shipment, or try to find out what happened to it. How do you want me to contact you with that information, or how do you want this to go about?
I will be sending one of my agents with you. He will accompany you and assist you on the job, and he will report back to me with updates on your progress. And rest assured, if I do not hear from him or you decide to betray me, I will know, and I will not be happy. Everything I give you, I can happily take away. And you can feel the coils around all of your chairs tightening slightly.
That's understandable. I do have a tiny concern. We have a responsibility to uphold first.
Oh.
To a friend of mine in Sundragon, and I was really not, don't want to mess that up.
She kind of thinks for a moment.
She's with the Alliance, she's like important to the surface stuff. So like, while I think that it would be really, really beneficial, in general, to meet with her, I do need to meet with her.
I suppose. And if that is the case, I cannot in good faith trust you with my equipment and send you gallivanting off to the other side of the region, especially when I have absolutely no promise that you'll actually get back to what I assigned you to do. So, if that's going to be the case, then I suppose our business here is concluded.
I look to the others.
So we're not taking the job?
Has waited this long.
I look to Caleb and the others. Do you guys want to go ahead and take the job? And I can message Agnes and tell her that we can talk later, I guess.
I would say message Sundragon. Let them know we have not forgotten them, but we have had some change in traveling plans.
There we
are. But we cannot turn down Mom's request. It would be in our best interest for the future and current now to accept.
How do you mean, Zephyr?
Well, we made it this far as we are now. And, well, yes, items are...
But we're still outclassed.
As I was saying, well, yes, items are always a helpful endeavor, and frankly, some part of me is intrigued in seeing your stock.
You're still welcome to buy, even if you do not take up my offer. And rest assured, contrary to my reputation, and Lucian, you can feel the stinger now raking up against your spine, I am not a cruel woman. I have no intention of killing you simply for refusing my request, but I will be offering you fair market price and not a farthing less. And rest assured, my stock is the best of the best. Might be a little outside of your price range.
Understood.
Well, I think we should accept.
Carol, you've been quiet. What do you think?
I don't think there's any reason to deny her request. We're just
Well, I mean, we
finding,
wanted to anyway to get your friend, right?
Well, yes. But some of the stuff she offers could help.
If it's any consolation, you do not need to return to me once the job is complete, nor do I care what becomes of the Ergos Republic or their leader. I'm simply saying that I can give you equipment and put you in the right place at the right time to take care of a favor for me and dispatch one of your enemies. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I think that's a great idea, actually. I think we should accept.
I see.
Everybody else?
I'm good for it.
Caleb?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Are you taking the job or not?
Caleb will just go with whatever they're doing.
All right. And what about you,
We
officer?
will take the job.
Yeah, you're welcome to come with us.
I guess. This is so far out of my comfort zone, but whatever.
I'll leave the city.
I promise you, your friends on the force will not hear a word of this. If there's one thing I can do, is take a secret to my grave. Very well, then. The coils begin to loosen from around your dining chairs, allowing you all to kind of scoot back as your guts were being kind of pressed into it. In that case, you are now all under my employ, and I treat my workers very well. I will make sure that what may very well be your last night in this city is a comfortable one. She reaches into her generous cleavage to pull free a black and gold card that she immediately slides across the table to you, Neon. This will get you into the penthouse of any of the hotels in this district. My treat.
Very generous.
And either tonight or before you leave tomorrow or whenever you decide to leave, as long as you don't leave the city without going to accomplish this, I don't care how long it takes as long as it gets done. Feel free to come back to the club. I'll make sure my bouncer knows to let you in, and we can talk shop, unless you want to do that here and now.
Unfortunately, I'm a little light.
I think
That's... Let me be clear. As long as you do this job for me, I'm willing to give you at least a small selection, free of charge, outside of your service, and they're yours to keep afterwards.
That is much appreciated. You are a good mother.
I try my best to take care of all my children, but you all have plenty of time to think it over, and if you give me some time, I can even organize a presentation, try and pick out what in my stock would be specific to all of your tastes. Rest assured, I have some unique, one-of-a-kind items here not found anywhere else. And you see her eyes specifically land on you when she says that, Zephyr. But you've all had a very long day and done a lot of floundering in my city. She waves her hand. If there's nothing else, you can go. Get some sleep and come find me whenever you feel like you're ready. And I will see to it that you are all well equipped for the coming job.
I appreciate it.
Of course. You may all go. And she gives a... and the chauffeur quickly kind of jog steps back up the stairs to kind of give all of you a bow at the top of the staircase. I suppose I could give you a recommendation, but, officer, you know this city just as well, I suppose. Take them somewhere nice, my treat.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure you will, officer. And you feel the stinger gently scratch against the back of your legs. I'm sure you will. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Jesus Christ.
I like her.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I like her. She's great.
Zephyr doesn't.
That was a lot.
All right.
Well, Zephyr doesn't like a lot.
I mean, a lot of people he's fine with, you know.
Yeah, he likes a lot of the main antagonists, just the mother in particular he isn't fond of.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not either. I don't like her. She's mean.
She's not
yes.
mean.
So, the party
Very
has
intimidating, though.
I do my best. So, the party seems to be reaching the end of their stay in the technopunk city of Edict, as they have taken a seemingly final job from one of the local crime families. The mother, leader of the family, who, in exchange for access to some of the most powerful and unique equipment that Edict has to offer, will send you all out of the city to pursue the Ergos Republic and what appeared to be a brazen attack on one of her own shipments that was intended to reach them anyway. Who's been stealing from her appears to be a mystery, but you guys will be joined by this driver that the mother has set aside for all of you, and be heading off to the homeland of one of your enemies in the Scar Concord, the young president of the Ergos Republic, who you saw being doted on by Queen Wyborn at the ball. The Dark Elves of Ergos await you as you all prepare for your last night in the Technopunk City. And Officer Neon has some things to reevaluate, as this will be their first time out of the city in a very long time, and potentially abandoning their now corrupted cause to their fate. A lot of knives are in the air. Let's hope all of you guys can juggle them. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. Thanks all of you so much for playing, and we'll see you all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Juggling.
Ooh.
Goodness.